Hi everybody, welcome to Cacti number 12. We're nearly halfway. This time we're going to do a ceramic pot and we're going to make it look like it's got lots of ridges. So it's going to be like a odd shape with some blocks of colour on it. And you can make these colours up, these contours up if you want to. It's up to you. They don't have to be exactly like mine. Just make your own pattern. And we did one similar to this on day, I think it was day 2 or day 3, where we put angles on the pot. And then we're going to have a long, thin oval coming out the top of it. And onto that, we're going to have a couple of projections. I'm going to have this one coming out of the back. Okay, and then if you want, afterwards you can add spikes or you can add little tiny flowers. And I'm going to add little tiny flowers around the edges of these projections here. Okay, but we're going to just paint those. We don't need to draw them in. So the pot is going to be a sort of blue-grey colour. I've got some blue left over from a couple of days ago. So in here I've got some ultramarine and I've got some indigo and some phthalo blue here. Use whatever blues you've got. And if you want to make them more grey, then just add some black or some Payne's grey, which is what I've got over here into the mix to sort of darken it up and make it more grey. But if you like your blues, then use them as they are. So I'm just going to go in with the indigo or phthalo first. And I'm going to paint each section a slightly different tone of blue grey. Tone just means the pigment that's in it. So it's either got a lot of pigment in it or not very much pigment in it. If you see the word hue written on your paints, that just means it's got less of that pigment, meaning the colour in the mix. Whereas a shade has always been mixed with, well, not always, but everybody thinks of a shade as mixed with white or black. But as I've said before, in watercolour we tend not to use white and black. I use Payne's grey instead of black, and instead of white you just water it down so you can see the paper through the watercolour. So I don't know what else I've got here. I've got a little bit of dirty blue here. I might as well just use that. If you're worried about things bleeding into one another, then just hold off for a few seconds and let it dry off. And like I said, if you want the paint to be thinner, quite like that colour that I've mixed there, I think that was the turquoise from the other day, then just thin it down with some water and it'll just get lighter like that. Okay. Let's add a little bit of grey into, this is a Payne's grey. And again, if you haven't got a Payne's grey, then you can use black, but we do tend to avoid black and white in watercolour. Okay, and I'm going to thin that one down, I think, just with a bit of water, and just fill that middle section in there, quite pale. And can you see how those angles really create an interesting looking pot. Okay, so now on to our cacti. I have some green here already that I've been using for I'm painting a hellebore for my masterclass. Hang on, where am I here? Ooh, where can you see me there? Students, and they pay a membership fee every month. So if you want to learn how to paint longer tutorials and take part in longer tutorials and paint finished pictures, then you can join my membership. So I've just taken some green and added some yellow to it, and I just because I wanted the green to be very vibrant. So like I said, don't add white, just add other colours to lighten or darken your paints. You can see how vivid that green is just by the application of yellow. And if you were to add lemon yellow, which is the cool yellow in the spectrum, then you would get a more acidic colour. The yellow I've added there is a cadmium yellow, and as a result the green remains warm. Okay, so there we have it. So to top that off, I'm going to use a little bit of what they call gamboge yellow, which is a very golden yellow. So this is my cadmium. I'm going to have to clean my palette at some point. Cadmium yellow, and then this is my gamboge yellow. So it's a yellow that's got more pigment in it, more yellow pigment. It's stronger and it makes it look a little bit more gold-like as a result. So if you've got that in your set, that's great. And all I'm going to do is I'm just going to, it's quite wet on my brush, and I'm just going to dot some little dots around the outside of these projections, because this cactus is in flower, like that. Okay, don't go all the way around, just have them sort of random. Okay, and then to make it more interesting, I'm going to take my small brush and I'm going to dip it into one of my reds. You can use any red you want, and you need the mixture to be quite liquid, but not a great deal on your brush. You'll see what I mean when I do this. And this is something that you might want to do later, is just, you can wait for these to dry and put them on later, but if you put them on now, they'll sort of spread into the mix because the mix is still wet. Okay, it just makes it look a little bit more interesting. Now on the cacti, the main part of the cacti, I'm going to add some more yellow, and I'm going to put a highlight on, which side should we go for? I think we'll go for this side. And this is just, this is now dry, so that's why it's not bleeding into the rest of the paint. If you did this while it was wet, it would bleed into the rest of the paint. And the highlights would always be on the right hand side of your structure. That's if the light is coming from that side. So imagine that the light is coming from this side. And so on the opposite side, you would have a darker shadow. So I'm just mixing up a darker green. I'm going to put that in. Now that's a bit dark. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to soften it. I'm just going to put it down. And then all you need to do is take a semi-dry brush. So I don't know whether you remember what we said about that. Clean your brush off and then dab it off onto a piece of paper towel or a pair of leggings like I've got, and then just smooth that in. Can you see? Just smooth in. You must not have too much water on your brush for this. I think we're already at 10 minutes. So this will be the last bit that I do. Okay, so you've now got a shadow. Okay, well done. Thanks for attending again if you're watching live, and don't forget, send me a picture, send me a message. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Check out my other YouTube tutorials. Like I said, some of them are free and some of them are under a membership scheme. So if you see a little, it's like a little paper clip, those are the videos that are available to my members only. Okay, see you tomorrow. Bye.